Good afternoon, guys. Thank you for coming. Aaron, can you tell me a little bit about why you guys are here today?
We are here because our daughter has moved back into the home after college, and while she has a good job, she and her mom have decided that she should live at home instead of living on her own, and that has created friction in our family.
Okay. And Christine, why do you think you're here today?
Well, he's right. There is some friction in the family about Kimberly moving back home, but I just feel like, this is her first year out of college. She should have some time to save up some money, and our house is taken care of, and so why not let her come back home? We have plenty of space, and that way she can, get on her feet and feel good about herself and getting started into the real world.
Okay. And Kimberly, what do you feel about what they've said and why you're here today?
I don't see why it's a problem for me to live at home. So.
That's the problem.
What problems do you see with her living at home?
Well, she has a good job.
Mm-hmm.
She could afford to be on her own. But when she lives at home, she doesn't have to pay rent. She doesn't have to do any chores. She just comes and goes as she wants. And that's just not the real world.
Right.
So, glad you agree. So that, yeah.
But we need to be treating her like an adult, and if we give her chores and treat her like she's 5 and ask her where she's going every time she leaves, then she'll never see us as more than just parents, and we're supposed to be changing that relationship right now.
We can't change. She's living in the home. She's acting like a daughter. She's living at home. Then she gets treated like a daughter. She wants to be an adult. She can live on her own. I'll treat her like an adult.
Kimberly, how do you see your relationship both with your mom and with your dad?
Well, me and my mom are really close, and we have a really good relationship. She supports me and understands me, and for some reason I just feel like my dad doesn't want me around and that I'm a hassle, and I feel like he doesn't understand, I just don't understand why it's such a problem for me to live there. I mean, I lived there before, and it's not like I'm going to live there forever. They should be glad that I want to be where they are.
Do you feel like you should have some sort of responsibility in the home, whether it's paying rent or having chores, or do you feel like they have a right to know where you go when you leave the house? Like, how do you feel about the way they treat you in that aspect?
Well, Mom doesn't ever really ask stuff like that, but, Dad wants to know that kind of stuff. I can understand me contributing to the household in some way, whether that be like helping out with the utility bills or whatever, but I don't think that they should have to know where I'm going and when I'm going there. I mean, I would understand if I was like having parties at my house or bringing people over that they would want to know that, but as far as what I do, I don't think that they should care.
Aaron, what do you think about that statement about both her offering to pay some of the help out with the utility bills and her desire to have a little more freedom if she's not going to be having people over and having parties? What do you think about that?
Well, I was very excited to hear that she was willing to help with rent. We've talked about that before, so already this is working. But part of our job, I feel like part of our job as parents is to prepare her to be an adult.
Right.
So if she's living in the home, then she wants to, and I love my daughter, I love you, I want you to have all the things that you want in life, but if she wants to be a daughter in the home, then I'm going to treat her like she's living in the home. If she wants to have the freedoms of being an adult, then she has the means to, she doesn't have to buy a house right away, but she could, have a roommate somewhere and, then have the independence that she wants. But if she gets everything living at home, then there's no motivation for her to move out.
And Christine, what do you think about what he's saying about kind of the difference between being a daughter living in the home and being a responsible adult living outside of the home?
Well, I mean, she's 24. She's been in college now, so she's been on her own and she knows how to live on her own. But I don't think it hurts for her to spend a year or two at home, back at home now, and, you know, get herself ready for the real world. You don't throw babies into a pool and expect them to swim. So I don't know why it's such a problem for her to take the time to come back and collect herself and get set in how she wants to be. And we do need to give her some freedom in doing that. She shouldn't have to check in with us every 5 minutes and say, oh, I'm going to see Bill at his house. It shouldn't be that way. She needs to feel like an adult.
How do you feel like the differences of opinion that you two have over how you should, you know, address this situation have affected y'all's relationship as a couple?
Well, I think it definitely has caused friction because she is our only child, and so, you know, it's not like there's others to think about. And so we did have time to ourselves for 4 years, and now we're having to rebalance having Kimberly back, which I love, but we have to rebalance that, and, you know, this difference of opinion is causing some friction between us and our marriage.
Do you agree with that, Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
How does that make you feel?
Well, I don't like it. That's why we're here. I want to come to a place of agreement, but you know, I missed her when she was gone, when she went to college, but then I adjusted to that. She, you know, was off to her life. I wasn't really prepared for her to move back home, and not in any sort of, like, she's not in need. There's no problem. You know, we don't need to rescue her for something. And so, you know, these are the years that we've been waiting for all these time to, you know, after, you know, 20 years of, you know, raising a daughter and investing all of our time in that, you know, in her, then it was our time to be able to have our time back together. And now that's, you know, we're losing that again. And I liked having that back.